In the cold, dark nation of Noctilia, tucked between the pale hinterlands and the Goldahir Mountains, lies the small, secretive land of Velsvania, where the voices of witches are carried on the wind, wolves roam freely beneath the beauty of the moon, and creatures of the night stalk the shadows. Umbramorn, the city of candles and cats, stands proudly as the capital, teeming with spellcasters, strange creatures, and untapped magical potential. But the shadows are hungry for power and for blood. There has been great unrest in the land. The witches of Umbramorn have been in conflict with the werewolves for decades, fighting over territory and resources. But in recent months, the werewolf clans have been especially aggressive, and High Enchantress Astaril has decided to finally take a stand, reaching out to a potential ally to assist with resolving this conflict. Little do they know the calamity that will be unleashed in this enterprise for peace.
Good evening. Welcome back. Please follow me to the study. The High Enchantress is waiting for you.
Finally, there you are. You are almost late. No excuses. I do not care that you were busy bottling last night's moon water or carving new protective runes. It is imperative that you are on time today. First impressions are critical tonight. Thank the gods our guest has not arrived yet. Is that candle wax on your sleeve? Clean yourself up. Get every last speck of mud off your coat, and for the love of the Fae, get those twigs out of your hair. I know a little dishevelment is to be expected of all witches, but I've selected you for a very special task, and you must represent the coven with all the grace and charm you can muster. You are going to be our guest's escort during her time in our city, and you must present yourself accordingly. If you are unkempt, she will see it as an insult. And trust me, you do not wish to upset her. Why were you chosen? Because you have earned it, my pupil. In last month's ritual, you played your role perfectly, and from what I have heard, you have been dying to prove yourself. Many of the witches of Umbramorn are content to live a peaceful, quiet life. But you have ambition. If you do well in this task, doors to even greater magic might open to you. Emphasis on might. This is your opportunity. Do not squander it. I apologize for my harsh words. You do not deserve to be on the receiving end of my ire. As you have likely heard, these past months have been difficult. We have been unable to harvest resources for spell components due to the increasing hostility from the werewolves, to the point where we may need to start rationing herbs and crystals. How has it come to this? Oh, you are very sweet. Some tea would be wonderful. Thank you. I know that I have become irritable as of late, and for that I do apologize. But it is no secret that times are difficult here in Umbramorn, and I am doing my best to keep the peace. There is unrest on the other side of the mountains, both to the north and the east, And the south is... well, it's the south. And the werewolves seem insistent on making our lives difficult. It's time we finally cut the rot from the tree. Yes, I have tried sending some witches to Strelakia and the Underdark to acquire ingredients. But the journey there is long and dangerous, and we have lost contact with several of them before they reach their destination. Our dwindling numbers do not bode well. Oh, my dear pupil, no. We are not in danger. Umbra is cut off from the ugliness of the rest of Noctilia, and in our isolation, we are safe. Outsiders cannot breach the forest unless we invite them, and our protective magic remains as strong as ever. Our coven has governed this city, these lands, for decades, and nothing is going to change that. But there is nothing wrong with asking for assistance when we need it, which is what I'm doing now. Our guest arriving from Starzova was invited by me personally to assist with diplomatic endeavors between the Coven and the werewolf clans. This conflict between us has gone on long enough. They've been more unruly than usual, and I invited our guest because she is said to be one of the wisest diplomats in the land. Will any of the werewolves be hurt? Hopefully they will see reason, and it will not come to violence. But she is acting as a third party. If they antagonize her, she will likely lash back. But they should know better than to pick a fight with a vampire. Yes, she is a vampire, but do not be mistaken. She is not one of the mindless undead that comes stumbling out of Strelakia from time to time. She is a member of the vampire court. She is a countess. If anyone knows how to handle diplomacy between violent parties, it is her. I see that look of concern, and do not be mistaken, I do not like outsiders either, but I do not want to risk any more of my witches getting hurt. A vampire will easily be able to dispose of a few werewolves until the message is made clear. As High Enchantress, I need to make difficult decisions for the betterment of the Coven. Know that inviting the Countess here was not an easy decision to make, but we cannot lose any more witches to the savagery of those wolves. Besides, the blood will not be on my hands. It will be hers.
High Enchantress,
Yes?
the Countess has arrived.
Lovely. Please welcome her in, and bring her required refreshments.
Of course.
Remember, you are representing the Coven, so be sure to make her happy during her time here with us.
High Enchantress Asteril, thank you for inviting me to Umbramorn.
I am glad you are here, Countess Swann. I hope the journey was not too difficult.
While it was frustrating I could not take my carriage here, due to the lack of roads through the woods, it was a refreshing change of pace to travel in my other form. But, do tell me, who is this charming soul joining us this evening?
This is one of my prized pupils, and an esteemed member of my coven. They will be escorting you during your time in Umbramorn. Go on, introduce yourself.
Well, it is a pleasure to make your acquaintance, little witch. I am the Countess Swann, proud member of the Vampire Court, and the Dark Lady of Starzova. Oh, I must apologize. I would have arrived earlier, but I was getting a little snack along the way.
Refreshments will be provided for you during your time with us, Countess. so that you do not have to hunt while you are in Umbermorn. Or rather, I would prefer that you do not hunt while in my domain. Is that understood? Of course. I wasn't aware such courtesies had been made. You really know how to make a vampire feel welcome. Speaking of which, is that decanter of blood for me? Of course. Help yourself. I shall. A deliciously robust forest boar. I typically prefer my blood taken from beasts on 2 legs, not 4. But this is still a refreshing treat. Hunting is difficult as of late, Countess, but we will do our best to accommodate your needs. And I will be on my best behavior while assisting you in these delicate matters. Thank you. And the proposed compensation is agreeable to you, Countess? You did not confirm your stance in our previous correspondence. Now, that was one matter I did wish to discuss, and I thought it best to have this conversation in person. While your offer was generous, I am a lady already of considerable wealth, and I do not have need of silver or gold. And what is it exactly that you would ask for in exchange for your assistance? You are engaging in business with a lady of the vampire court, so I ask that you respect my customs, just as I will respect yours. In exchange for my assistance, you will grant me a boon that only you, or a powerful member of your coven, can perform for me. Or, if this isn't agreeable, then I will return to Starzova. On the condition that this granted boon will not harm me or any others in my coven, then I agree to your terms, Countess Swann. Wonderful. And one last detail I wish to go over again, with this sweet little witch acting as a witness, of course. Continue. You want this resolved in your favor, correct? And if any of those sweet puppies try to attack me or my dear companion here, I have your permission to put them down? Indeed. Ideally, I would want this matter resolved without bloodshed, and I've tried numerous times to reason with their unruly spirits, but they seem defiant to accept this city, my city, as a part of Velsvania, just as much as Orlok Forest is. Countess, I just want my people, my witches, my coven, to have a home they feel safe in. Very well. Thank you for the refreshment, High Enchantress. It was invigorating. I will be off to Orlok Forest then. Come along, little witch. No time like the present. I look forward to hearing the results of your endeavors, Countess. I will be back tomorrow night, High Enchantress, with good news and to claim my reward. Until then, good evening. I'm lucky to be bequeathed such a delightful escort while I'm in Umbermorn. I look forward to getting to know you better, little witch. After all, we'll be spending every night together while I'm here. But let us be off. Show me the way to the forest, and let's see if I can teach these old dogs some new tricks. If you enjoyed this ASMR tale and want to become one of the incredibly kind souls featured here, then please consider supporting me on Patreon. To access my Discord server, attend my monthly live narrations, and enjoy other perks, click on the Patreon link below. Don't forget to check out my merch store on Fourth Wall to pick up some stickers or pins featuring your favorite characters, or a stylish shirt to show your support for the Seraph of Stories. You can also catch me live on Twitch every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday evening, so be sure to drop by sometime. Thank you. Don't forget to subscribe, and stay wicked and wonderful.